You went to one of America's food capitals.
Went to Charleston.
Oh, yes.
Well, in celebrations.
Oh, it's a birthday celebration. Went to Poogan's Porch.
Did you go to Poogan?
Yeah,
Are they still in business?
Yes, Poogan's. Oh, man, they're hopping there. And I'll tell you something else now. This is kind of mask related as well. When we went to Poogan's Porch, which is a well-known Charleston establishment, man, I probably shouldn't even say this. I don't want to get him in trouble. Okay, but we went to Poogan's Porch, and I was making a reservation. There were 7 of us that were going to go on the trip. Our family and my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and their kids. My son didn't go. He stayed home by himself for the first time.
What?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. He had school, so he didn't go. My daughter. Yeah. All right. My daughter, we go, and it's her birthday, and we're going to Poogan's Porch for her birthday.
All right.
So a few weeks ago, my sister-in-law had said you have to make reservations because they're crowded, and some of the tables aren't in service. They're staffing an issue and all that. So as soon as you call them, they do not answer the phone. They say, if you want to make a reservation, hit this number. I called them 5 times. Nobody ever answered.
So do you leave a message?
I did. They didn't call back. And so, but at the end of every thing was, if you want to make a reservation, go to this website.
That's right.
Okay.
So I went to the website, and it said, we can only take reservations for 6. No parties bigger than 6. We have 7. So first.
COVID.
It's all COVID. And then it says in bold.
It's probably spacing.
Well, yeah. And in bold, it's like, you must wear a mask, when entering the building until you get to your table. All those things, And so we called, and my wife's like, what are we supposed to do? We got a table for 7. They won't answer our call. And so we wound up splitting it up. We wound up doing their family at one table, our family at another. You couldn't get them at the same time. They were like 30 minutes apart. So just like, what are you supposed to do? It was tough.
A poor Poogan's Porch party.
Yeah.
It's a pitiful Poogan's Porch party.
By the time I get a table, they're going to be done with their she crab soup.
Right. I mean, what are
I'm done with my po' boy.
Yeah. They had a pimento cheese fritter, Dave. Curly hair. Oh, my God. I thought of you.
A fritter?
Yeah, a pimento.
I didn't know you could frit.
Well, they did frit a pimento.
It's just fried cheese, right?
It's fried. And did they ever. I bit into it and said, this is heaven. I mean, it is heaven.
Is this heaven?
No. It's Poogan.
I'm in heaven. Poogan's Porch. Brian Adams come out and start singing, I'm in heaven.
Yeah,
what's in your life?
I said, this is heaven. I said to the waiter, pinch me. And they changed waiters. He said, I'll get somebody else to come over. Okay, so, but we said, we'll go together and see what happens. Even though the tables were apart, the times were apart, you had to wear a mask, and they wouldn't even answer the phone call. We couldn't get a table of more than 7. Well, I walked in with my mask on, and I was the first one in. Nobody wearing a mask. Staff or customer. Not a soul. So I took it off, and I went up to the hostess, and I said, now, and I explained the situation. Now, we have 7, but she goes, oh, yeah, I'll sit you right here with 7.
I can teach you now.
Yeah, and they did. They sat us right away. Dining room was packed. Every table filled. There's 7 of us.
Sometimes when you try the hardest,
I guess.
and you anticipate to be disappointed.
Well, I think the point was they put all that stuff up there to cover themselves.
And don't answer the phones.
And they don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
And then in reality, you get there and it's a different thing. It's like, okay, you can wear a mask. I mean, I saw a couple people wearing masks, very few though. And so we just sat down. It's like a regular experience.
It's all window dressing.
Yeah, it was.
Without a doubt.
Now let me give you this. I'm going to get to this. This is tearing our family apart. Okay. But it may save your pet's life. Let me just say this. Okay. We had something happen. Went to Charleston to visit my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and their kids this weekend. And I'll just tell you the whole story. Now, there's a Chris's crisis angle to this. There's a can you cut him some slack? And I'm the person that needs slack cutting. I made a big mistake. And my cheapness will come into play. And I may save your dog's life all at one time.
So it's like a bingo.
Yes. I'll tell you. Now, this takes some build-up.
Okay.
We get there Thursday evening. My sister-in-law puts out some appetizers. Very nice.
That's nice.
Crab dip.
They love the crab.
They do. They love a crab. She had a bowl of trail mix. Now, in it were nuts, raisins, M&Ms, a couple of other things.
A little
Classic.
pretzel.
Little classic trail mix, So, I do what?
Hand in it.
Hand in it.
Not a spoon.
No spoon. Take the bowl on my lap. Eat, okay?
Oh, eat the chocolate out first?
Chocolate first, then the nuts, left what? Bowl of raisins, okay? Bowl of raisins sitting there. So my sister-in-law says, I see you don't like raisins. And I said, no. And she goes, good to know. I love raisins. I said, okay. So I handed her the bowl sheets of raisins. Some of the raisins. That's it. Night's over.
So far, so good.
So far, good night. Fine night. All right, we go to bed. Everything's fine. We stay a couple of days. Now it's
Company's coming. Get out the M&Ms.
Mix them in the.
And dig that crab dip from the back of the fridge.
Okay.
Might want to
Finally
check,
use it.
check
Smell
the
it.
date.
Oh, God.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
Now, here's something else you should know about their family. They have a terrific dog named Owen, okay? I say terrific. He's rambunctious, okay? He'll jump
Big,
on.
little, middle.
Middle. I'd say 35 pounds. He's a woodle.
It's an oddly human name for a dog.
Owen, yeah.
Woodle.
He's a woodle. You know, woodland terrier mixed with poodle.
Oh, of
Is
course.
that the so they don't shed factor?
Fact. Pretty common breed, a woodle. Okay.
If you don't want it to shed, a poodle will mix
That's
with
right.
anything.
That's why they're all poos and oodles.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you got. We have a
Woodland
cockapoo.
terrier.
A woodland terrier.
That's a
Yeah.
bird.
mixed. Well, the dog does chirp.
It sounds like one of those creatures with the hairy toes from the
Right.
Lord of the Rings movies.
A woodle.
There's the wood. There's the woodland terrier.
see the woodle.
All right.
He's
got the answer.
Okay.
And I feel bad for the poodles at this point, too. The poodles are just getting drugged around like, hey, have sex with that. No, I don't know if I have sex with that.
But she's not my type.
I don't really think she's that attractive. Have sex with that.
Get in there and do it.
Mix it with a poodle so it won't shed. They mixed a woodland terrier with a poodle. It's a woodle. It doesn't shed. It's a very rambunctious dog.
Does Owen the Woodle have free run of the house?
No, many times he's in a crate.
Oh.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I love the dog. The dog is very nice, but he will jump on your lap. And a lot of times it'll be like, Owen. And they've done a lot of stuff like training. He's the one that was trained in German. So when he jumps on you, they go, 9, 9, 9. Remember him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This sounds like a great breed.
Okay. Very,
Have to send it to Munich to get trained.
right. Spend a lot of money training. The training has worked somewhat, 9, 9, a lot of that. Okay, so they have the dog. We have the raisins. We go through the weekend. Okay, now, getting ready to leave. About 15 minutes before we leave, I'm throwing something away in the kitchen, and I see the leftover trail mix. Now it's in the packaging, the plastic packaging that it came in. Okay, and I just see it sitting in the kitchen. I'll have some of these.
Spoke to you.
Right, so I grab them, go sit back where I was sitting, open it up, do what I always do. What?
M&M's first,
Correct.
nut second,
Correct. Left.
raisins.
Raisins. Now it's time to go. My daughter's done. Bags are packed. We're ready. I sit the raisins right next to me on an end table. Not a coffee table, but an end table. And I say goodbye. Now my hands are full of bags. I'm getting ready to pick up my stuff.
Your luggage.
And I look back at the raisins sitting there. And I was going to take them to the kitchen, but I didn't have a free hand. So I say to my sister-in-law, I left you those raisins you love. She says, ha ha, great. I'll take them. We leave. Okay.
Do you know, did she make eye contact with the bag of raisins?
Yes, she looked at them and
Okay.
she goes,
On the
ha,
end.
thank
Okay.
you. That was it. I said, I left you those raisins you love. She goes, ha, thank you.
She knew where they were.
Correct. So we leave. She comes down to the car. We all say goodbye. Get in the car. We're on the way home. Now, 2 hours later, my wife checks her text from my sister-in-law saying, Owen sure enjoyed those raisins that you left behind. The dog has gotten up on the table and eaten all those raisins.
Oh, out of the bag. Okay.
Yeah.
My wife says,
Das Dog ist baden.
my wife says,
raus mit the dog mit the raisins.
it was a winky face, laughy face. Oh, the dog ate the raisins.
Aha.
The dog has eaten 20 remote controls. Okay, the dog will.
Yeah.
Okay. My wife says, I think raisins are poisonous to dogs. Okay.
Based on?
We have a friend whose dog ate some raisins and was in the vet's office near death. I mean, and I didn't know that.
I've never heard that.
I'd never heard that before in my life.
I've heard chocolate.
Exactly. You hear chocolate, you don't hear raisins. So my wife texts back to my sister-in-law, I think raisins are poisonous to dogs. Well, an hour later, she texts me and says, how many raisins were left in that container? Well, I estimated 18. I don't know, but I estimated 18.
Was that a low estimate?
Yes.
I was going to say, did you play the low card?
Yes.
Closer to 36.
I don't know.
Double.
Was it full?
I don't know. I didn't eat a single raisin.
Why would you look? Why would you count?
Okay. We get home. Oh, I was like, all right, whatever. We get home. 2 hours later, my sister-in-law calls my wife. She says, we're at the emergency vet. He's got a 50-50 chance of survival.
Oh, and
He's hooked up.
ach du lieber.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. He's hooked up to IVs They pumped his stomach. They got out 15 raisins, okay? The vet says at his age, he's got a fighting chance. He's 4 years old, but an older dog would be dead. They cannot process them. There's something poisonous about them in their kidneys. She said, the vet said, the dog is going to go into kidney failure within the next 48 hours and die unless we can get the dog to urinate, and we got to get water passing through the dog, and we fill him with fluids. And the vet said, people don't know, grapes and raisins are fatal to many dogs. And the vet seemed to say it was kind of random. I mean, the smaller the dog, the worse the chances. I mean, the worse off
Their
they are.
tracts are just smaller?
Yeah, I guess so, and they can't handle it. Bigger dogs, not so much. But he said, but I've also seen one grape kill a Great Dane. I mean, that's how toxic they can be. Grapes, raisins, pitted fruits of any kind.
Yeah.
Cherries, the cherry pits for sure, but grapes and raisins. And I was like, oh, my God. I mean, I was like, what? Okay, what? So she called and said the dog it's serious.
Mm-hmm.
And they said if you don't get the dog stomach pumped or get him to throw up within 8 hours, it's hopeless. Well, they got him to the vet like 7 hours after the fact because they were texting back and forth, and they found him listless under the couch, laying there. Pulled him out, got him to the vet.
Empty bag of trail mix by his head?
Yes. Oh, yeah, they had found.
Yeah.
She found the container.
That's how
She
she
knew.
knew.
She knew and just thought it was funny, Okay, it was the raisins that did it. So, okay, we go now into the night, and I'm like, I'm freaking out now. Okay. The update today is it looks like he's going to make it.
Oh, thank God.
Mein Gott.
His vitals are good. He's urinating on his own. He's eating, and they said because he is young, but he may have kidney damage. I mean, it's that
My gosh.
it's that serious. I had no idea. Okay, no clue. Now, the question is, should I pay part of the vet bill? It's enormous. And how wrong was I for leaving the raisins out? But I did point them out to her. He ate the raisins as we all went down to the car, and they said goodbye, and I loaded up the car.
Instantaneously.
Yes, she got back in from that, saw the raisin container on the floor. It was been eaten. Texted my wife, Owen sure enjoyed those raisins. My wife didn't see the text for like 2 hours, and that's when she said, oh, I think raisins are poisonous. Well, I Googled them, and they said, oh, yeah, quite toxic to dogs. Who knew? Who knew?
Not me.
And even when I heard he'd eaten the raisins, I thought it would be like chocolate. You got to eat 10 pounds. You know?
Right.
No. Apparently, my estimate was 18 raisins. They got 15 back out of him.
And there's 3 floating.
Okay, well, maybe more. I mean, honestly,
You don't know.
I'm trying to remember back to that container of raisins.
Well, this is a George Costanza moment.
Well,
I mean,
it is. It is. My wife says we're paying that vet bill. I said, wait a minute.
The bill? Did your wife say a portion of the bill?
First, she said, we're paying that vet bill. And I said, wait a minute. Let's back that up a little bit now. And then I said, well, maybe half. Maybe half the bill. But I don't know what the bill is, but he's been at the emergency vet for 2 days with IVs in him, and they've pumped his stomach. You can only imagine.
Probably had to spend the night.
Oh, yeah, 2 nights. He spent 2 nights now.
Oh, my goodness.
At the emergency vet. They let
Several thousand.
Easily. I'm looking at it. For some reason, the figure 5,000 popped into my head.
When my wife was on the phone with her sister, she wrote 50-50 on a piece of paper, and I thought she meant $5,050, and I shook my head and said, I'm paying it.
No. I have a limit.
It's a cute dog, and it's a woodle. But
I mean, that's a woodle, but that's
Did you
not.
put a period between
now, where's the decimal in this thing?
$50.50? Yes, that we can swing.
She got out
Is that a comma?
I said,
It's not a decimal. It's a comma.
I'm not paying $5,000. She goes, no, I meant 50-50 chances.
Then
to
put a
survive. I
slash.
said, put a slash, for God's sake. Exactly.
All because you had to have the M&Ms.
The M&Ms, and left them sitting. Now, I thought I should take these over to the kitchen, but I had something in my hand.
Hands
and
full.
I pointed them out. I said, the raisins are on the table. Thanks for having us. Goodbye. That was all there was to it. I tell you what, I've learned a lesson, though. The dogs, you just cannot get
Is
them.
he out of the hospital, you say?
Not yet.
Oh, he's still
Still
in there.
today, but the labs are better.
Maybe turning a corner.
He's turned a corner. He's peed. He's eating, so they're like, looks pretty good.
Oh, that's good.
Still could drop dead. The vet said a lot of people, they eat raisins. People don't know. 3 days later, they drop dead. You know, you just have
No
no
grapes,
idea.
no raisins, no wine.
No, none of those things. Yankee Joe, you're talking about this dog? Go ahead.
Hey, I know no matter what anybody tells you today, you're probably still going to cave and pay half the bill. But if it was me, first of all, if I knew my dog ate anything off a table and I had company, I would not have the dog out amongst the company. Second of all, I tell the people when they come through the door, listen, my dog has a habit of eating things off the table. Please be careful you don't leave anything out.
Yeah. Well, I did sort of know that. Now, he eats a bunch. He's eating remote controls. We kind of joked about that. He has eaten like 20 remote controls. I mean, he's eating batteries. Poops them out just fine.
Ain't no grapes in those.
Darn raisins. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Yankee Joe.
Raisins.
You're right. I'm feeling some pressure to pay at least half the bill. Thank you, Yankee.
I'm really torn.
I know. Is it my fault or is it not?
Well, I don't think, to me, it's not your fault.
Okay, thank you.
Because I just don't. I think you're the house guest.
Yeah.
You pointed out where you left the raisins.
I did.
I'm torn on the bill part, though, because it is family.
It is family. I don't want to tear
Close
our
family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets tricky to me. However, I don't think it's your fault, though. I mean, dogs just do that.
Yeah, they do. They do. But
And especially dogs that are rambunctious like that and are known for eating things.
Yes. And the vet said there'll be raisins like in a cereal or in some sort of recipe, grapes in a recipe, and they'll eat it. They'll drop on the floor and they'll eat it and they die. They literally die. I had no idea.
Only your wife did, and she was silent.
I did.
While raisins were passed around her.
Well, I did point that out to her. I was like, you did know.
You did hear me yell about the raisins. Were you with? Were you in the car?
She was right.
Was she already in the car?
She was right there. She goes, I don't know why I didn't speak up. She said, I don't know. I knew that. I don't know why I didn't.
Sun-made bitch. Oh, she looks all happy and smiling.
Yes, she does.
On the cover of the box.
She's out there killing dogs.
She's a killer.
She's a dog killer.
That's right.
She'll take you out.
Troy, you're talking about the dog eating raisins. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. P1 out of Clemens.
Oh, thank you.
My wife has a Yorkie, or we have a Yorkie, but it's really my wife's dog. She's 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to quit smoking, so I'm on Chantix.
Right.
And I'm filling my little pill bottle every morning that I put in there with my normal vitamins, and somewhere there's a Chantix missing out of the pop-up pouch.
Uh-oh.
Out of the container.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly looks at me and goes, aren't you supposed to have 6 in that or 7 in that row? I said, I think it was mismanufactured. It was only 6.
Mm-hmm.
She said, we're missing something, I think. And she started looking around. Well, Poppy, our dog, is in the living room chewing on something. She runs up to it. The dog has already consumed half a Chantix and spit it out on the carpet. I said, oh, the dog will be fine.
Yeah.
Of course, my wife is about ready to bludgeon me to death with a skillet.
Mm-hmm.
The dog starts blowing everything out of its body, out of its backside, throwing up everywhere.
Oh, Lord.
Peeing, became lethargic.
Oh, no.
Within a half hour, we were up at the emergency vet. They grabbed her, took her in there, and my wife's like, if this dog dies, you die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the vet comes walking back out, and this is like 1 a.m. The vet comes walking back out with the dog cradled in his arms. Kelly's like, you're dead. You're so dead. The vet said, oh, she's fine. She's sleeping. We gave her a sedative. She took IVs. She's okay.
And on the plus side, the dog is no longer smoking.
Yeah, quit smoking, dog. That's good.
Thank you, Troy. You just have to be really careful. I said, with our own dog now, it's like nobody drops anything on the floor. You just never know.
With teenagers?
Well, I told them, be very, very careful. Because my dog's always like lapping something off the floor.
That's what dogs do.
They do. But it's like, you don't know what's going to hurt them. Raisins.
There's no raisins at your house, though, is there?
Never.
I don't think so.
Not even in a brand?
Never. My wife said no raisin.
What about a grape?
What about raisin toast?
Now, we have had raisin toast.
Raisin toast is delicious.
Raisin toast. We've had raisin muffins. We have not brought any raisin bran. We will have grapes in, but no more.
What about a craisin? It's the woodle of the
It is the woodle.
of the raisin world.
It is. Raisin is
We'll
raisin.
do a craisin. That's a good. I don't know if craisins. That's from a crayon. I don't know.
It's a dried fruit. It's a dried fruit.
It's borderline.
Who knows? My point is,
Yes.
don't let your dog have grapes or raisins. And I'd say prunes either. The pitted fruits. Do not let them have it.
Peaches have pits.
They can't have the pit.
I'll be dog.
Now, I don't believe. I wouldn't. I'd be very careful about it. Jimbo, you're commenting on this dog story. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kelly, I think it's totally your fault, man. You should have been eating the trail mix to begin with, because obviously you don't like trail mix, right?
Well, I like only the M&Ms and the nuts. I don't like the raisins.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, you weren't eating M&Ms and nuts. You were eating trail mix.
Trail mix.
Once you mix it,
Yeah.
It's trail mix.
A fact.
What are you, 5, man? I mean,
All right. Okay.
All right.
You know my eating habits. You know how
I mean,
am.
this is family. Otherwise, we'd get into the hygiene of it all. Your moistened fingers going back into the bag and throwing back
Yeah.
what you don't eat.
for your families
Look.
to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You fingered a lot of raisins.